All right, today on the channel we're going to look at not one, but two brand new budget webcams from Obsbot. They reached out to me, asked me if I'd be interested in reviewing this product. I looked over the specifications on both of these and I was immediately piqued with my interest. So I said, yeah, absolutely, send them over. So first and foremost, we have the Tiny SE. The retail price on this one is $100. Has a built-in gimbal, 1080p resolution, 100 frames per second is its maximum. Has motion tracking capabilities with that gimbal, so essentially you got a built-in cameraman here. You don't have to worry about anybody controlling things. This will do it. You can walk around, it'll follow you. Also has AI gesture control, which is very impressive. And then we also have their Meet SE. This is a very, very tiny one, not to be confused with the Tiny SE. I think honestly they should flip those names around, but the Meet SE, 1080p resolution, just like this other one. 100 frames per second, again, just like the other one, which is very nice because the standard out there, a lot of these manufacturers are maxing these out at 30 frames per second, and reality, that's not enough. Two great budget-friendly options. Inside the box of the Meet SE, you get the camera itself, and it is very tiny. This thing is like 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch wide. It is very, very microscopic. We got a nice little magnetic privacy lens cover there. Just kind of attaches, which is great. This thing is about as straightforward as it gets. USB-C powered and connected. That's the only connection you need for this. On the bottom, we've got a nice little thread. That way you can connect this to a tripod if you want. Inside the box, we also have a nice lengthy USB-C cable, because like I said, that's all you need to do. Plug in the USB-C cable, plug it into your computer, you're good to go. And if that wasn't enough, they also included a nice little USB adapter dongle. So if you don't have a USB connection, you still have the old school USB, you can just connect that to your computer and you're good to go. Obviously the instructions and everything are inside. And we also have this nice little foldable stand for the Meet SE that is magnetized there. So it just kind of attaches. You can easily accordion this out. It's got a nice little lip on it to the edge there. And you can connect this to your laptop and pose it pretty much any way, shape, or form. Same kind of thing goes for the Tiny SE. Looking at it, it's a very small device in itself. Looking at the Meet SE, these things are very small, so they're not going to be super obtrusive hanging off the top of your laptop or anything. So very small, even with the built-in gimbal. This thing is pretty tiny. It has a built-in stand in it. There we go. Opens up. We also have the threaded bottom, so if you want to connect it to a tripod, you can. Open it up a little bit. As you can see, it has a nice little gripping lip to it. Put it on the edge of your laptop, push that down, and voila. I mean, that's all you need to do as far as setting it up. You just connect it, plug it in, you're good to go. You've got a stylish webcam that's very small, not obtrusive, and we'll go ahead and check out what kind of resolution, what kind of quality we get. We'll run it through its paces. I'll connect it to OBS and we'll do a real nice thorough compare and contrast with some higher end cameras and some lower end cameras, and we'll see just how good the audio and the video is of the Tiny and the Meet SE from Obsbot. All right, we got the 4x4 windows set up. We got 4 cameras, 4 microphones. That way we can get a nice compare and contrast of the high end as well as the low end of the webcam space. So for the high end, I've got my Sony DSLR connected. It's not necessarily a webcam. This is a full-on, audio video camera. I'm using it as a webcam just for demonstration purposes, and I also have an external microphone connected to it, and that's what you're hearing currently for the audio. The low end of the spectrum, I'm just using the built-in MacBook Pro OEM webcam and built-in laptop microphone. And then I've got the Tiny SE and the Meet SE connected, and we'll go through individually and hear both the built-in microphones of all these cameras as well as check out the video quality of them individually. Now, out of the box, I've just connected these, updated the firmware, but I've changed no picture settings, no audio settings. This is about as baseline as it gets as far as comparing everything. So, with that being said, let's go and meet the Meet SE. This is the Meet SE. This is the 1080p, 60 frames per second current settings. This is capable of doing 100 frames per second, which is very impressive. YouTube, unfortunately, will only allow me to upload videos up to 60 frames per second, so you're not going to see that additional frame rate. But this is the out-of-the-box video and audio quality of the Meet SE. Again, didn't change any settings. I've got all the cameras equally spaced. Microphones are all equally distanced, so you shouldn't, see anything other than some slight changes in framing just because I didn't want all these lenses on top of each other. But This is the Obsbot Meet SE out of the box experience. Now this is the Obsbot Tiny SE. Now this one differs because this one has more features, more functionality. This one has a built-in gimbal and it does motion tracking, which is very impressive. But out of the box, this is the video quality, 1080p, 60 frames per second. You're hearing audio from the built-in microphones on the Tiny SE. Speaking about that motion control and everything, as I kind of roll around, you see it automatically frames me, catches me. So as you can see, this would be great for people doing demonstrations, teaching, doing any kind of instructionals, whiteboard demonstrations behind them. And as they move around the classroom or wherever, it'll automatically check them in. You can change the close-up of the framing. So if you want a very tight shot, you can. It'll automatically, as you roll farther away, frames me up, centers me up, and then tries to zoom in. Very impressive. As you get closer, same kind of thing. And one of the neat features that both the Meet SE as well as the Tiny SE have, we'll go back over to the Meet SE, is they have AI gesture control. So if I put my hands up like this, I can zoom in, frame myself, zoom out. Very handy. Again, like if you're doing any kind of classroom demonstration, as you can see, having these gesture control kind of zoom in, zoom out functionality, super handy. Go back to the Tiny, a great value because you get that built-in motion tracking, you get that gimbal action. It's also a very small webcam. Again, we're still getting 1080p, 100 frames per second as far as our quality, but we have the ability to roll around and just move around the atmosphere of whatever kind of setup you have, and you have a lot of control of it. And then last but not least, this is the built-in MacBook, just kind of the baseline. Again, this is the built-in microphone, the built-in camera, this is the stock. This is what you get out of the box from Apple on a MacBook Pro. Expensive laptop, and as you can see, it's probably the worst quality as far as video resolution and just overall presentation. Microphone, not so bad on the laptop, but just the video quality. This is not something I would really be happy about sending over a Zoom meeting to anybody out there. And this is my Sony DSLR again, just for comparison's sake. This is the high end of the spectrum. This is what thousands of dollars will get you, but obviously it's absolutely overkill for 99.9% of the population when it comes to Zoom meetings and Google Meet and just any kind of web meetings or anything like that. You don't need a DSLR and a fancy microphone for those type of meetings or environments. But just for comparison's sake, this is what the top end of that world looks like compared to these great budget options from Obsbot. All right, last but not least, we'll do a quick low light performance. Turned off half of the lights in the room. As you can see, we got different variations of quality and visibility of the lighting. So we'll go ahead and look at the Meet. Okay, that's the Meet. It's the Tiny SE. And then last but not least, the DSLR. And that does it for the video review of the Tiny SE and the Meet SE from Obsbot. Guys, if you're interested in picking up either one of these, I'll put product links down in the video description box below. Let me know in the comments below what kind of webcam you guys are using. In this post-pandemic world, I know pretty much everybody's got a webcam now because we all did those Zoom meetings for years. So let me know what kind of stuff you're working with and if this is something that would pique your interest. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the like button. Share this video with your friends if you found the information helpful. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Really means a lot.